In the forests of Quebec, they call it le Loup-Garou, the Wolfman. For centuries, villagers locked their doors when the moon was full. Priests warned their flocks that sin could twist a man's flesh. Hunters spoke of glowing eyes beyond the tree line and the crunch of footsteps that followed them home. But the Loup-Garou's story doesn't end in France or even in Quebec. It followed rivers and trade routes into the American heartland, where it took on new names, new faces, and perhaps new prey. Tonight, we follow its trail, from medieval curses to modern sightings, from the swamps of Louisiana to the woods of Michigan, and maybe to the road outside your window. What is a legend worth when no one sees it? The Loup-Garou has always lived between two worlds, the human and the animal, the sacred and the damned. It is a creature born from guilt and isolation, shaped by superstition and sin. In every culture, it finds a way to return. Different language, same hunger. In medieval France, the forest began where civilization ended. It was a place of mystery, of temptation, and of punishment. The church taught that the Loup-Garou was not merely a beast, it was a man transformed by sin. Miss Mass too many times, betray your vows, harm your neighbor, and the devil would mark you. By night, you would roam the fields on four legs, cursed to howl until forgiven or slain. During the werewolf trials of the 1500s and 1600s, entire villages accused neighbors of lycanthropy. Some confessed under torture, others out of guilt. The Loup-Garou was both moral lesson and social warning, a story that kept people obedient in a dangerous world. When French settlers sailed to the New World, they carried this legend with them. Across Quebec and the St. Lawrence Valley, tales of the Loup-Garou took root. Here, the forests were deeper, the winters longer, and the isolation heavier. And in that silence, the old fears began to whisper again. In Quebec's rural parishes, the curse still followed the rules of faith. Neglect confession for 7 years, and you risked becoming a Loup-Garou. Sometimes the creature stalked villages for a season. Other times, it was said to be a local man, cursed but not dead. A neighbor you'd recognize if you dared to look closely. Priests preached against it, children feared it, and the woods never seemed entirely empty. As French settlers moved west and south, the legend changed accents. In Quebec, the stories remained cold and moral. The Loup-Garou prowled the snowy forests, preying on those who strayed too far from home after dusk. To break the curse, one had to draw blood from the creature, but never speak of what they'd seen. In 1704, a French settler named Pierre Lemaitre lived along the lower St. Lawrence, near the trading post of Tadoussac. He was a former fur trader turned river pilot, a man who knew the woods, the tides, and the sound every animal makes when it moves through snow. That winter, Lemaitre stumbled back into the post half frozen and half mad, insisting that something in the forest had attacked him. He later dictated a report to the local magistrate, a document that still survives in fragments in the colonial archives of New France. Here is what he claimed.
Je m'étais aventuré dans la forêt pour relever mes pièges, à 1 lieue du fleuve. La lune était claire, et j'entendis d'abord un cri qui n'était ni celui du loup, ni de l'homme. Une créature se dressa sur 2 jambes, haute comme un homme, mais toute couverte de poils noirs. Ses yeux luisaient d'un feu rouge, et sa bouche sentait le fer. Elle me frappa à l'épaule, et je tombai dans la neige. J'ai cru voir, avant de perdre connaissance, le signe de la croix brûler dans l'air au-dessus d'elle. Quand je repris mes sens, la bête avait disparu, mais mes chiens étaient morts.
The magistrate noted that Lemaitre bore 3 deep gashes across his back, 2 too wide for a knife, too shallow for a bear. He survived, but refused ever again to enter the forest after dark. Villagers whispered that he'd broken Lent that year, and that perhaps the creature had come for him in judgment. The report was filed, stamped, and forgotten. But even today, the woods outside Tadoussac are said to be strangely silent in winter, as if something still listens among the pines. Farther south, in the swamps and bayous of Louisiana, the same legend evolved into the Rougarou. There, the beast was a shapeshifter of the wetlands, stalking cane fields, hiding near the marsh, watching fishermen from behind cypress trees. In Cajun lore, the Rougarou punished those who broke Lent or disobeyed their parents. In some tales, it was a cursed soul, trapped for 101 days. In others, a guardian spirit turned cruel. Between Quebec and Louisiana, the legend stretched and changed, but its essence remained. A moral warning, a curse, a human shadow cast by fear. And then, over time, it began to lose its religion and gain teeth. As the frontier expanded into the American Midwest, into Michigan, Wisconsin, Illinois, settlers and lumbermen began reporting new sightings. They didn't call it Loup-Garou anymore. They called it something else. Dogman, beast, monster. The name changed, but the shape did not. Some folklorists believe the Loup-Garou became the blueprint for nearly every North American man-beast legend that followed. The Michigan Dogman, the Beast of Bray Road, even Southern Goatman and Swamp Monster tales all share the same features. A human-like predator that walks upright, with the hunger and senses of an animal. Even in modern paranormal lore, the echoes are there. Reports of glowing eyes in the woods, clawed marks on doors, livestock torn open, drained of blood. It's the same story retold in new forms, a pattern older than the country itself. They're all modern mutations of an ancient archetype, the watcher in the dark that looks almost like us. The Loup-Garou, the Dogman, the Chupacabra, the Mothman, each a regional dialect of the same language of fear, each a reflection of what it means to live on the border between faith and reason, city and forest, man and beast. In France, the Loup-Garou was a punishment. In Quebec, a curse. In Louisiana, a warning whispered to children. In the modern Midwest, it's a thing seen from the corner of the eye, crossing a dirt road at night. But in every version, one truth endures. The beast is always someone we used to be. It is the part of humanity that refuses to be tamed. It walks beside us in every generation, wearing a different face, but never disappearing. So if you find yourself alone on a quiet back road, and the forest goes still, if the air thickens and you feel something watching, don't look too long. Don't speak its name. Because some legends don't die, they adapt. And the Loup-Garou is patient. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to subscribe. You'll never miss another upload. Thank you, and until next time, stay strange.